There's been a change of plan. Emily, you'll be needed to take the flying kipper to Tidmouth Harbor, where Henry is due to take it to the mainlands. Edward will take the engineering train, and Rosie and Thomas will have to stay here and take turns in doing night shunting at the docks.
Emily took the flying kipper away to Tidmouth Harbor, leaving Thomas and Rosie behind. The two tank engines soon went to work in shunting trucks. Rosie went first, leaving Thomas to rest in the shed, and his crew could get some rest too. Rosie worked her hardest for the next several hours. After shunting some empty vans, it was time for her to switch with Thomas. But before she could, a cold drop in temperature was felt and a layer of fog came down. The driver and fireman could hardly see and decided not to take any risks and kept Rosie where she was.
Oh my goodness! I don't like this at all!
You should never have come here.
Who's there?
You dare come to this place? Now you will be punished for your sins.
Rosie became frightened. Then she nearly screamed in horror when she saw an unknown figure walking past her. From where he was going, he was heading towards the shed where Thomas was sleeping in.
Oh no! I have to warn Thomas!
Huh? Who are you?
You are on my railway. You and your friends have invaded my place of rest, disturbing it.
What are you talking about? Are you pretending to be a ghost or something? Because if you are, I'm not buying it.
Don't you even know who I am? I was once the controller of this railway. This was my own, until I was forced to leave and go to Sodor, where I took over. I had to deal with it, and most of the engines were old and out of shape. Even he, who I never got along with, he who was big for his own wheels and never showed me respect, and ended being treated like the way he was. I didn't care for him, and wanted him out of my sight, and I would have done by scrapping him. But that never came to me, for he killed me, and many other lives.
You know what? That is just a load of... Hang on. You're not saying... You're the... No, it can't be!
So the disrespectful coward shows himself at last.
It can't be! No!
We meet again, little brother.
Timothy?
Thought you saw the end of me, didn't you, Thomas? Well, I can't be stopped, and will never rest until I get what I want and complete that in which I came back for.
But how can this be? I thought I defeated you on the viaduct, and I saw you fall. This is impossible.
You can't kill what is already dead. I may be dead, but I still keep coming back. You and your friends were wrong about me. I still haunt Sodor, and no matter what you do, I continue to strike when and where you least expect.
If you're here to take me, I will not allow you to. If I go down, I'll take you with me.
Finally, after all these decades, we meet again. Timothy. Or should I say, number 0?
Never call me by my number!
I never understood it, but that always gave you a weakness. I had my own doubts when I first saw you. You seemed like a useful tank engine, until I found out you were only a prototype of a class I knew nothing about, and always gave me a hard time. You remember, don't you? You remember when we first met on this railway? This was once our own. I was born, raised, and grew up here. When I had this job to run the line, I was going to be among the richest ever until you came along. You costed me everything, and I was forced to step down as controller of the Kirk Ronan branch. I found work elsewhere and took the role of being in charge of Sodor, while you were sold to the London, Brighton, and South Coast Railway. But after they gave you away, you came to Sodor. And once again, we met, and the troubles started once more.
I never caused any problems. You were the problem. You got people who didn't know how to look after steam engines the right way, and made us all look like a joke. You never really knew how to run a railway, and only cared about making money. Your fate was sealed when you were going to scrap me for no reason. I may have been old because I was used up more often, and due to the fact that I was only a prototype for the E2 class. Your bad treatment on me and the other engines pushed me over, and that's why I took my revenge on killing you. But even at death, you're still on it with me. You were nothing but a pathetic excuse for a human being!
And you're a pathetic excuse for a steam engine. I should have scrapped you way before then.
This ends now. Leave. You were a terrible controller with no heart or compassion to show any respect to me or the other engines. You wasted most of our lives away and didn't seem bothered about that. You only cared about your fortune, your money, and yourself. The greediness of all humans. With that, the demons you see now within me awoke. And even after my demise, I wanted you to be forgotten. But you're still a bother, thus causing me to haunt Sodor over the years. The things may have changed, but I still see the same faces, the same people. And you. All I ever wanted was to be a really useful engine, just like my brother Thomas. I wanted to show you that I was a really useful loco, but you saw me nothing more than a piece of scrap iron. And with that, I took your life with me and the others who were unfortunate to go as well, even though they had nothing to do with us. Now, after over 100 years, it comes to an end. Leave now and never come back!
I won't let you!
Thomas slowly opened his eyes, seeing Timothy was still there, but the ghost of the old controller had vanished. Still feeling scared, Thomas found the courage to speak.
I don't understand. How could this happen? All this time, you were after me, wanting me gone, but now you have come back and...
Thomas, there's more to my story than you think. Everything that has been told and revealed is only part of something much bigger. When you first started out in your young life, we used to live together. And this railway, The Kirk Ronan branch used to be my home, and I enjoyed it here. But as I once told you, the London, Brighton and South Coast Railway owned me, but they decided to keep me working here until I was retired near the end of 1913. But that didn't last long, and the rest you already know. Everyone knows about my demise, but they'll never be able to understand it. However, they failed to know another thing, and that is the story of our past, Thomas. The story of you and I. From what I've seen, you and your friends are restoring this line to what it once was. I would not allow you to do that. But since that old controller, that no-good heartless human is gone, I will let this continue. But if you get to run it, I will give you your last rites. And then the island of Sodor will no longer have its #1 engine.
Thomas, I saw a man dressed in black, and then I heard a scream that sounded like...
I saw it all, Rosie. It was him, my brother, Timothy, and that man was the former controller who once ran this railway. I was shocked, but it turns out I didn't defeat the ghost train after all. He's still here and still coming for me. But for some strange reason, he let me go. But frettingly said that if I was to run this line when it's finished being restored, he will take me down.
What? But he's...
I know. But I won't let it happen. The thing between me and my brother is not over, but somewhere, sometime, someday, it will end, and hopefully he will let go and move on this time. However, I did see some part of him go. The old controller, the one who made Timothy into what he became, was here, confronting me and seemed to remember me, but then Timothy showed up and from what I saw, he put him in his place and laid him to rest. Or perhaps sent him down to hell, if it were. My brother's still fighting with his inner demons, but I think he's been able to put an end to it in some parts of his past.